Memphis, Tennessee.
We have new details tonight as we continue to investigate the murder of rapper young Dolph. Of course, he was gunned down almost a year ago at Makita's Cookies. And tonight we're finding out more about now the third suspect arrested in this case, Hernandez Govan.
Fox 13's Dominique Dillon is joining us in our newsroom tonight. Dominique, Govan's daughter, she was also a rapper, but she was killed in Houston in September.
Yes, she went by Lotta Cash Desto, but her real name, Destinee Govan. Houston police say the 25-year-old was shot and killed in Houston September 24th, early that morning. Investigators say Govan and her friend were in their vehicle, stopped behind a vehicle at a traffic light. Police say two men got out of the vehicle and started shooting at the women. And Lotta Cash Desto was signed to Lil Uzi Vert. He spoke at her funeral.
I had gotten some trouble and they put me away, and I had to go to a program and all that. I had to go to a rehab program, all that. She called me every day, like every day. Even if she called to argue with me, she called me every day though, and that's what counted.
We got to be a little more careful when it be our daughters out here, because, you know, my daughter got killed on some bullshit. So we just got to be a little more careful with our daughters out here like we supposed to, for real.
Welcome to No Tears for Black Girls, a true crime podcast written and produced by award-winning author John Reed Berg. Make sure to hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel and follow us on all social media platforms. You can also download our episodes on the Alive Podcast app or stream them from your preferred platform. Get ready to hold your breath as we dive into the depths of darkness. Let's begin. On a fateful night in 2022, the city lights of Houston, Texas, were witness to the tragic end of Destinee Govan, known to the world as Lotta Cash Desto. She was an up-and-coming rapper from Memphis, her lyrics echoing through club speakers and her name splashed across marquees. But on September 24th, that promising future was snuffed out. Desto had been celebrating at Spire nightclub for her friend Crystal's birthday. The evening was filled with laughter and music, the air thick with promise and joy. Afterward, she slid into the driver's seat of her silver Porsche SUV alongside Amira Hughes, a young friend barely out of her teens. The neon glow of Houston's nightlife reflected in their eyes as they pulled up behind another vehicle near Richmond Avenue. It was around 2:30 in the morning when their laughter was silenced by an ominous sight. Two figures emerging from the shadows, armed and dangerous. Quick-thinking Desto reached for her own weapon as they approached. Shots rang out into the quiet night. She managed to hit one in the abdomen, but their firepower overwhelmed them. Amidst this chaos, Desto took a fatal shot to the head while Hughes suffered multiple injuries. But even in death, Desto didn't go down without a fight. Her life might have ended there on that cold asphalt, but her spirit lived on in Hughes, who survived against all odds. Her testimony became instrumental in piecing together this brutal puzzle. Houston police arrived at this gruesome scene shortly after receiving reports of gunfire. A silver Porsche SUV, riddled with bullets, Tennessee plates hinting at Desto's roots back home. Shell casings littered around painted a grim picture of what transpired there. Not far from where this horror unfolded, police found Christian Isaiah Williams, 24 years old and suffering from gunshot wounds matching those inflicted by Desto. His inconsistent stories during interrogation only sealed his fate. His arrest was swift, his charges directly linked to Desto's murder. When the grim news of their baby girl's demise came knocking on their door, it hit Desto's folks like a Mack truck at full speed. They had to face the bitter truth that their daughter's Tennessee tags were found miles away from home in Houston, a piece of her roots she clung to after relocating months before her life was abruptly cut short. Their hearts were shattered into a million pieces by this senseless act of violence, leaving them grappling with the gaping void left behind by their vivacious daughter, whose voice was cruelly snuffed out too soon. The savage murder that took Lotta Cash Desto from us sent shockwaves rippling through the hip-hop communities in both Houston and Memphis. The sheer brutality of the act stole away an up-and-coming starlet on Tennessee's rap scene, a prodigy who had been spitting bars since she was knee-high to a grasshopper. In her short-lived career, Desto had already rubbed elbows with big shots like Lil Uzi Vert, a tight-knit ally despite her run-ins with Johnny Law back in her wilder days, scrapes that included beefed-up assault charges and cruising on a suspended license. But before Deeth came knocking, she was all about her music, a fact well known within industry circles. The receipt of Desto's career was just starting to gain momentum. In 2022, she dropped Lil Uzi Vert, which quickly became her most played track, racking up more than 2 million views on YouTube. Her abrupt exit saw music bigwigs stepping up to express their sorrow over this tragic loss and extend their condolences to the grieving family. Her funeral procession rolled through the streets of Memphis on October 8th. Lil Uzi took his turn at the mic, praising Desto for her unwavering loyalty and reminiscing about their deep bond. He shared how during his time in rehab, Desto would call him every day with words of encouragement that helped him on his road to recovery. Other big names in the rap game, like Kodak Black, also paid their respects via social media to the late Memphis rapper. Before fate stepped in, Desto was reportedly in talks with Kodak about signing under his label, and potential collabs were on the table. In a heartfelt tribute post, Kodak shared screenshots of their private convos, expressing his regret over their unfinished business. Word of Desto's departure from life rippled through the streets, leaving law enforcement wrestling with a tangled web of crime. Chris Williams was cooling his heels in a cell for his supposed part in the hit, but one survivor of the deadly shooting insisted that 2 trigger men were involved. This revelation left one menace still prowling free. The absence of a clear-cut motive muddied the waters for detectives on the hunt for this second shooter. Some whispered that a botched stick-up could be at the root of it all, given Desto's habit of flashing her stacks online. But considering the brutal spectacle left at the scene, this theory held water like a sieve. Stick-ups are usually swift and low-key, especially if the perp plans to walk away without catching heat. In stark contrast, Desto's ride had been blitzed from all sides by 2 gents packing heat, pistols and rifles. Bullets had torn through Desto and her companion multiple times, a chilling testament to a premeditated strike. With this grim reality in sight, cops dug deeper for potential motives. One angle they explored was linked to Desto's music. She'd been known to throw shade at fallen rappers in her tracks, disrespect that didn't sit well with street folks. But even so, it seemed far-fetched that such fleeting insults would warrant such savage retribution. The next breadcrumb on their trail came from an enigmatic social media post by Desto's old man, Hernandez Govan, weeks after the incident. "I think I cursed you, Destinee, with my lifestyle. I apologize." At first glance, his words were cryptic, but soon enough it dawned on them there might be some overlap between Lotta Cash Desto's demise and her father's shady past, particularly since Govan had racked up quite an impressive rap sheet over time. One significant incident in Govan's checkered past stood out. In November 2021, local Memphis rapper Adolph Robert Thornton Jr., aka Young Dolph, was brutally taken out as he left a store in Memphis. Although no official link had been made between Govan and Young Dolph's untimely exit, whispers circulated that Govan was the puppet master behind the hit, an idea seemingly supported by his own cryptic social media message. As more facts about the hit on Young Dolph came to light, it became widely believed that Desto's assassination was payback for her father's deeds. Despite Govan being officially indicted for orchestrating the hit on Young Dolph in November 2022, no formal connection had been made between the 2 hits. The investigation trudged on amidst swirling theories until March 2023, when a second suspect got pinched in Alexandria, Louisiana, linked to the fatal shooting of 19-year-old Jeremiah Smith. Today, both perps are locked up without bail, with no updates on their trials. Given their heinous acts, though, it's likely they'll be staring at cold steel bars for life. Desto's tragic end tore a gaping hole in the Memphis and Houston hip-hop scene. Particularly poignant given her career was poised to skyrocket when she was cut down. Tragically, it's a tale all too familiar in the rap game. Just shy of a week before her untimely demise, Desto had taken to social media, singing praises for H-Town and stating its superiority over Atlanta as a place to call home. The news hit the hip-hop world like a sucker punch. Lotta Cash Desto, gunned down in the very city she was ready to light up with her talent. She leaves behind not just her heartbroken parents, but also countless friends spread across the nation and an entire community within the hip-hop scene that'll keep her memory alive in their beats and bars. Her fans mourned, robbed of the chance to witness the star Lotta Cash Desto was on the cusp of becoming. Justice might have been served with those responsible for her murder now locked away, but the reason behind this senseless act remains shrouded in uncertainty. We can only hope that more pieces of this grim puzzle will come to light soon enough, offering some semblance of closure to both Desto's kin and Houston's vibrant hip-hop community stretching all the way to Memphis. Until such time comes, we say our goodbyes. Rest easy, Lotta Cash Desto. Thank you for tuning in to No Tears for Black Girls, now a part of the Alive Podcast Network, the first Black female-owned and operated network dedicated to amplifying Black voices. If you enjoyed this episode, please show your support by following us on the Alive Podcast app, available on both iPhone and Android. You can also stay connected with us on social media and YouTube at No Tears for Black Girls, or on X at No Tears for BG. Remember to stay loved, stay blessed, and stay safe. Until next time.